Hello. The time has come. We're at 9:04. We're into the second hour of the show, and we have our amazing guest, Amanda Chappell, in the studio from Sound Touch Change. Hello, Amanda. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Very excited to be on air this morning.
Me too. Thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait for today's show. We've got jam-packed full of amazing wellness knowledge, and also we're going to be doing a live gong bath on air at the end of the show. So this is really exciting. You're in for a treat. Amanda is a wellness practitioner and a sound healer. And could you introduce yourself a little bit actually to the listeners?
Of course, yeah. Like when you sent me some questions over, I think this was probably the hardest one to answer.
Yeah, I know. Like, who am I? And saying
who am I? What do I do? I've got so many like different, I guess, skill sets. Like in the wellness industry, you get really overwhelmed with what you want to learn and take on loads of different things. So I guess I'm Amanda. I'm a wellness practitioner based out of Hackney Wick in East London. And I guess my main objective when I think about my business is like thinking about like easing the chaos for clients. Because we live in like such an overwhelming, stressful world.
For sure.
That just like, you know, even if we're calming that by 1%, it's amazing, you know. So I'm working with sound healing, treatments, breath work and neural coding, which I'll explain a little bit about later. And I work under the name of Sound Touch Change.
Amazing. Sound Touch Change. So what inspired the name Sound Touch Change?
Again, this is a great question. I never thought about it so much. But again, it's exactly what it says on the tin for me. Like, I feel all the aspects of the name correlate to the energy, the body, the mind connection, which in holistic practice is really important. Yeah. So obviously the sound is working the energy body, which I work with different frequencies, vibrations, even feelings in the body. Touch, which is physical touch. Obviously we all love a massage or a facial, but the power of touch is so important. It calms the nervous system, it drains the lymphatic system, eases out all that tension that we get in the body as well. Yeah. And then lastly, change is working with the mind body, which again, thoughts become things, and it probably generally all starts in the mind. So I help to work with mindset, remove things that like no longer serve people in a positive way, and like what beliefs and systems are like out of date in the mind. So it's really looking at yourself with the whole holistic approach. Yeah,
100%, because like you said, in the West, or traditionally, it's like health is seen just as the body alone, but it's not that at all. Like in Ayurveda as well, it's you have health and you've got ultimate health, which is mind, body and soul, and you need to complement all of those three things. So you've got all of these different methods that you can do that. So amazing.
I love that. Ultimate health.
Yes, ultimate health. So what drew you to your holistic practice? What made you get into it? How's your journey evolved?
Well, it's been a long journey, but I've been, I guess, in the wellness industry for over 15 years. And I originally trained as a beauty therapist like years ago. And I always loved the more massage and wellness side of everything. Yeah. And I ended up doing my sort of higher levels in more of a holistic route. So it was including things like aromatherapy, reflexology, Ayurvedic studies as well. So I'm really, really interested in all of that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you did that.
Yeah, so I worked for Elemis for years, and then I went on to be their international trainer, which took me to the Asia, the Middle East, China, Maldives, and I learned so much along the way. It was incredible. Like Elemis has like a huge Eastern philosophy around their products. Yeah. So even before I got to travel to these places, like working in this flagship spa in Mayfair, they had, you know, the Balinese suite, which was all about these bathing rose rituals and flower rituals, and you know, the Thai suite, and then actually to travel to these places and like embody all of these practices was incredible.
Actually see where it's from and where it has the roots of it, I guess.
100%. You know, I went to train the staff, but they were all local therapists.
Oh my God, that's mad.
But they taught me so much more than I ever taught them, you know. And I say even things like the Maldives, like there were so many practitioners from Sri Lanka, India, you know, so all of their knowledge on Ayurvedic, it's how they live their life.
Yeah, well, they're brought up like that, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
When we did our day retreat, a lot of guests were from India. So I would say, oh, what do you know about Ayurveda? And they say, not a lot, but then they'll say, well, actually, because they've grown up.
It's just
like
normal to them.
Yeah, it's like their home remedies and things like that. So actually, they probably know a lot more than, you know, what I do. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some of the things I've experienced has been incredible. I always used to think that some of these therapists that were working in these resorts, probably earning, $1,000 a month. If I brought them to the UK and put them in a holistic or wellness space, they'd probably be earning like 250 quid an hour, because they just have this knowledge of the body, and none of them have had any like training, as you say. It's just
intuition,
that's just naturally intuition in how they live their life.
And that probably even sort of body treatments and the herbal remedies, they've just like their mother probably gave it to them, so they probably just don't see it like such a luxury we have here. It's probably not the same so much there. They're like, well, yeah, of course, but it's true. I mean, those things are rewarded a lot more over here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, amazing. So why do you think holistic approach is so important to us, and why should we sort of include this in our lifestyle?
Again, I think it's, as I say, important to look at the body as a whole. So a lot of the time it's thinking about like what's the root cause of the problem.
100%.
And not just masking the side effects, which is what we do with, I have a lot of people that come in that have maybe got acne, and they've just been put on like Roaccutane, which is a really, really strong medication. But actually, if somebody came for me for a facial, it's not just about, I think the word holistic to people sounds a bit woo-woo or spiritual or ridiculous, but actually it's just looking at like the body as a whole, and not just slapping on a product or a treatment. So, treatment's obviously important. I recommend people to come every month, but I also ask more questions. How's their stress levels? Like, how much time are you spending like frowning in front of a computer? What's their diet like? Where are you even in your menstrual cycle? So all of my recommendations would be lifestyle based. Like, are you taking walks in nature? Do you do rituals? Like, what's in your diet? Certain foods that could help. What's your caffeine level?
It's mad that isn't like, that is such a core thing for our health. I mean, obviously, because I do Ayurveda as well, and that's a huge thing. But when people don't see that, and they're just so overwhelmed and stressed, and then they're like down in so much, like they drink 4 cups of coffee a day, and they don't have any time to go and chill out for, like, it's like, do you wonder why maybe that? But like modern medicine, I mean, I think I have a few doctors I've chatted to. They do start to include that in their recommendations, but maybe not so much so. But yeah, I completely agree. And holistic, if people aren't sure of what the word holistic means, it is about the body as a whole, that everything is sort of influenced from each other, that we don't treat one thing singularly. It's, like we said, the whole body, mind, body and soul all together. And we believe that each one has an influence on each other. So yeah, I agree. It's like, you have an external treatment of the massage, but you also need to treat the internal treatment too, because that's the last level, isn't it? So if we can treat from the inside out, even more powerful.
And it's interesting, like, how many people come to me for a massage. They're wearing their shoulders, it's earrings, right? They come to me for a massage. I can tell they're extremely stressed out. And when I ask them about their stress levels, it's like they're shocked. Like, oh, why are you asking me that? It's like an alien question to people.
Yeah, like, well, we're all stressed. Isn't that normal to be stressed?
Yeah.
But because when I come and had a treatment with you as well, and my shoulders, to be honest, I do get quite stressed. But I know that my Ayurvedic lifestyle recommendations, but sometimes I fall off of it and sometimes I do. But I'm so grateful that I have that knowledge to go to. I would feel lost otherwise if I didn't, because it's all about becoming your own healer and be able to do these things from
definitely
things from home, or going to do these certain body treatments. I just don't know how people don't include wellness in their life. It would just I think everybody should have some form of wellness in any sense, what they resonate with, basically. But saying that, because I am a massage therapist as well, an Ayurvedic massage therapist, and obviously, but I love giving treatments, but I also love to receive treatments. But sometimes it's also, I think, because you do massage therapy. I don't know if you ever have that when you have a treatment. You're having the treatment, it's beautiful, but you're also thinking, oh, what are they doing? Maybe I'll include that in mine. Or sometimes if you don't feel, I think it's really important to feel trusted with your therapist. Sometimes they can put your hands on you and it's quite weak, and you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't feel secure in their space. But basically what I'm saying is Amanda is the most amazing therapist, and basically the person that I go to and would go to for any treatments, because she's just amazing and you feel so trusted in her space. Like, she knows exactly what she's doing. And she has this particular treatment called the signature treatment, or mass signature treatment. Honestly, it's the best thing I've ever it's the best treatment I've ever had. I felt like I was pretty stressed at that time. I really needed a treatment, and I felt so special. And it was just like, I think it was about 2 hours of pure attention, and I remember thinking, like, I felt so grateful. I even felt this, I've never had this so much. I felt a bit emotional about how, like, much I was giving myself this, like this lovely treatment or treat, basically. And I was thinking, I feel everyone I know needs to have this treatment. It basically starts with, I think you've combined all of your different practices. I'll let you explain it, go through it, because you'll do that better than me. But I think it started with Reiki, which is like energy healing over the body. And then we had a full body massage, and she even adapted that. So I was like, oh, I like a relaxation, but my shoulders are tight. So she did like really nice and flowing over the body, and then some more deeper work around my shoulders. And then we had a facial, and there was all sorts of things going on which were amazing, all these gadgets and stuff like that. And then we had the gong bath as well. It was just incredible, honestly. Anyone who is around the area of East London and needs a treatment, you have to go with Amanda. But explain that treatment a little bit more, because it's very unique to you. So what made you put that together?
I think it's always, you go to these places and there's this huge catalogue of menu of what you should choose, which is quite overwhelming anyway. People always ask me, what should I have? And
you want a bit of everything.
You want a bit of everything, because everything's equally as good and when you need it. So I guess it's combining all of my, top treatments, and it's taking like all the best bits from all the little bits of massage I've learned. Like, there's always a little bit of element of Thai stretching, there's deep tissue, there's a bit of work from Balinese and lomi sort of movements.
I've been hearing a bit more about that recently.
Yeah, it's like a Hawaiian style massage. So it's like infusing like all these best bits of what I've learned along the way. Yeah. But it's really intuitive. So every treatment is always completely different. So when you come back again, it could be different. But again, it goes with the same sort of concept. Again, as you said, meditation, bit of breath work, the touch, the massage, sound, energy healing. And I guess it was inspired by my travels. And whenever I do the treatment, it's really nice because I've got a guided playlist to it as well, which I've put together. And it takes you on this journey through the treatment. So a lot of the tracks take me back to like certain ceremonies or treatments that I've experienced myself. So I guess it gives people like an introduction to healing modalities if you've never experienced anything, because it's just, you get a little bit of energy work and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, as you say, it's super relaxing. And I don't know why I do get a lot of tears in this treatment. Happy tears. I think it's just really releasing for people.
I'm not actually like that a lot, because I know some people can be quite sensitive to treatments, but I'm not normally like that. But I actually felt that in this, and maybe because there is so many different parts of it. And like you said, actually, that's quite interesting, because it's a great one to go for if you're not sure, you haven't had any of these different treatments before, because you might be like, I really liked that energy healing, or I really like the sound, and I'm going to maybe explore that a bit more.
What to have,
I just keep coming back for the signature, because it's amazing. I think that's what I'll do.
And I think people, I did a little poll on my Instagram the other day of how often people have a treatment, and it was like my two options were when you're desperate or once a month, and I think it was about like 85% of the people were like, when I'm desperate. Like, self-care and looking after ourselves in that sort of way is always put to the bottom of our list. It's when I've got some extra money, when I'm super stressed, or when I'm in severe pain, will I go for a treatment. And I'm really, at the moment, one of my big initiatives this year is to push I've got like a membership now for treatment. It was just something that my booking system does, and I came across it and I thought that's genius. Fresher, it's great. But to be able to sign up and then you have like a regular payment that comes out with all your other bills, because actually, you know, we can afford it. It's maybe just one less takeaway a month.
Well, exactly. And it's that, like, I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to sign up for this after this show, because I actually answered that poll. And because when I had the signature treatment, I was like, okay, I'm going to book this every month. But then things happen. I didn't, because I think when it's there and then when you've got the idea, you need to sort of do it then, because you forget. Then things happen, you know. And it's true. Why? Because it's actually really low cost, this particular treatment Amanda does for the time and obviously what you get into it. But I think it's just getting, like, making that commitment, and then it being, because I get as well, wellness is all, or holistic therapies is all about sort of preventative measures. So you don't want to get to that point where you're so overly stressed, because then you've got to break that down. Like, if you did it every week, the stress levels would reduce as well. So overall, it's going to be
better. I think there's the element of people maybe feel they shouldn't spend money on things like that.
I know, it's odd, isn't it?
But again, we've all sort of programmed from it, and as you say, time flies. You know, all of a sudden, it's, even for me sometimes, I'm like, all of a sudden it's been so long and you've not got anything in. So, you know, that's why I just thought of these you know, subscriptions and memberships that, you know, it comes out with all your other bills, so it's not really to be noticed. It's just, think of it as another bill. Like, we pay service charge on our building, why don't we pay it for our body?
100 million %.
And, you know, and then you've got the rest of the month to use it. So when it gets to that bit of the month where your skin and got to stay in, you've got a treatment in the bank.
That is actually so true.
Genius,
and it should be, because like you said, a takeaway is something like, you know, 30-40 quid, and then you feel bad for it after. Normally it's normally never that great, but why not just like
feel good instead?
Exactly. So how can people find out where you are, get in touch? How can they book treatments?
Best way to book treatments, is through my website, through Fresher. I guess most people generally, when they come in, have found me through Instagram. So my Instagram handle is pretty easy to remember. It's at sound.touch.change. And then all the links to all the services, offers, events, everything is in there.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm going to be loading up this catch-up show to Phoenix FM, as I usually do. And on there, I'll put all the links to get in touch with Amanda and how you can book in a treatment if you wish to. She's going to be letting you know of other events she's got as well as we go through the chat. So I'm sure there's something that you'd want to keep in touch with her on. Okay, so let's play a couple of tracks before we talk a bit more. So I'm going to play, we actually both love this song. Amanda sent this in as a song to play, and I was like, I'm so glad you sent that, you know, because I've wanted to play it since I've started this radio, but I've just not had the particular set list for it. So this is It's My House by Diana Ross. And make sure you stay tuned. We'll be coming back to talk about the different change therapy. You heard Amanda say about Neuro Coding. Obviously, we're like, what the hell is that? So she's going to explain that for us, and also the beautiful gong bath at the end. So you're in for a treat. This is It's My House. That was Crazy P, Cruel Mistress. We're back. Hey, Amanda, how are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Great song recommendations.
I know, that's one of my faves as well.
So now we're going to go back to some more amazing knowledge, and we're going to talk about the change side of your work as well. So tell us a bit about this Neuro Coding, I think it's called, right?
Yeah, I will tell you a little bit about. So what this does, this is shifts your mindset and belief system, and it's actually using NLP and timeline therapy techniques.
Okay.
So this works with the power of the unconscious mind, and the unconscious mind drives 90% of our behaviour. So example, breathing is an unconscious pattern. We do it without thinking about it, right? So all of our habits, patterns, reactions, behaviours all come from our unconscious and all come from our belief system. So it's basically why we do what we do. So if we think about neural code, or if we think about that unconscious mind as if it were in the computer world, right? So technology is advancing so rapidly that programs written 10 years ago are now completely out of date. And this is the same with the programs we created as children. Okay. So they simply do not serve us anymore. So our unconscious mind is always listening to us. And especially between the ages of 0 to 7, there's almost like no software protection in our mind. So whatever we hear or experience as truth, and this sort of forms a belief in our unconscious mind, or like we like to call a mind virus. Okay. So obviously we form positive beliefs as well, but we also form our mind viruses. So these are our negative beliefs. Okay. So how could this form? This could be like a comment from a teacher that you're not getting good grades. Your mind will create this virus to say, oh, I'm not smart enough. Okay. Like a friend might pick a new best mate in the playground as kids. Your mind creates a virus. I'm not good enough. Like your parents telling you constantly not to show off. A mind virus. I don't deserve this. Like the list goes on. And then we take these beliefs as truth and carry them on to our adult life.
Because in that 0 to 7, we don't have any sort of like
it's like there's no filter.
So that's seen as fact. Any experiences then is fact.
It's fact. And we still do that as adults as well. We take things that aren't true as fact. So again, what neural coding works as, it's almost like the update for your computer. You know, we do it to our iPhones all the time. It's vital for our like neurology as well.
Of course, 100%.
So what's actually happening is, so every second our unconscious mind takes in 2 million bits of information, which sounds insane. You know, think of even the room that we're sitting in now. Like it's every colour, every light, every sound, every feeling, like everything that's happening, going on. It's taking in 2 million bits of information a second. But we can only actually process 2 bits of information per second. So, and this is depending on what our belief system is.
Okay. Is it like we pick in the conscious mind, we pick 2 out of the 2 million?
Definitely. So I'm going to give you an example of going to a party, right? So 2 people can go to exactly the same party. Okay. The experience is exactly the same. But one person might leave the party and say, wow, that was the best party I've ever been to. Everyone was so chatty. They were really welcoming. Like, I can't wait to go back to that party again. Like, I'm booking my ticket now. It was amazing. All right. Person 2 will go to the same party and say, I didn't like that party. Like no one spoke to me. No one included me. It really wasn't fun. I felt left out. I'm not going again. So it's exactly the same experience, but depending on those 2 people's belief systems, completely different experience depending on those 2 bits of information that they've chosen to pick. So so it's super interesting.
So who do you think this kind of practice would be useful for? I'm assuming probably everyone, but who do you think neurocoding, you know, who should reach out for that?
Everyone. I do believe that everybody should have neural coding at some point in their life. I wish I was taught this at school, because it would have saved a whole lot of healing and processes done on myself. But it's really for anybody that wants to make change. So I have worked with clients with anxiety, depression, people struggling at work, like people running their own business. Like, I'm not a business coach, but running your own business brings up a whole lot of stuff that you actually need to work on. You know, you get so many doubts, self-esteem, confidence. It's the biggest form of healing I think I've ever been through, is running your own business, because you're constantly doubting yourself. And again, I've used so many techniques on myself of what comes up, you know, like achieving fitness goals. You can use it for people with phobias, stopping habits. Like, you can even stop yourself eating or drinking a certain food
through the NLP,
which is cool.
Because you said if you're if you've got a phobia or something, right? Or like with food, or
well, you can just completely get rid of the phobia. It's amazing in like one session. So
you could even, because in Ayurveda we give like nutrition advice, so maybe you could actually with NLP support the changes that seem hard when you don't really want to eat those foods. You can kind of help the conditioning quicker.
So I I've just given up coffee.
Okay.
And I'm 2 weeks in now.
Well done.
And I've been trying to quit coffee for over a year.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. I wake up every day and say, I'm not going to have a coffee today because I know I was drinking too much. I know that it was actually, affects your adrenal glands, and I knew it was making me feel actually more run down and tired, and my anxiety was feeling like through the roof and stuff. So I actually called on a coach to do the process on me because I was like, right, let's just do this now. So what happens is the process he run with me was changing the coffee from something to like to dislike.
Right.
So it's using a specific script pattern, which the NLP means neuro linguistic programming. So it's actually a language that speaks to the unconscious mind.
Okay.
And what we've done is taken the coffee, and where I think about it in my brain is of a place of like, and we've moved it to the place of dislike in my brain.
Okay.
Yeah, and remember this is done on
You can go over there.
an unconscious level.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So it's done on an unconscious level. So I had the session done, and when I woke up the next morning, I was training that day. So I got up, went to the course, and it was after lunchtime, and I suddenly stopped in my tracks and thought, I've actually not had a coffee today.
Wow, and not even thought about it.
I've not even thought about it. Yeah. So again, remember, it's done unconsciously. So, just like breathing, the pattern was changed and I didn't have to think about it. And normally I would have woken up. The first thing I would have done was open my eyes, put the kettle on. I can't wake up without coffee. I've walked past, every time I walk past a coffee shop, I end up getting one. So it's
the
really
smell and everything like that as well.
It really was ingrained in me. And then even to think about it, it actually makes me feel a bit repulsed to think of drinking coffee. So what actually happened, I changed a belief, and then it changed my behaviour on an unconscious level.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because as I was saying, like when we do, because wellness, when it is about lifestyle prevention, and actually sometimes rather than just taking, a pill or something you're given, you do have to work for it. So actually having the NLP therapy, you could just support that process a lot more and, make those changes a lot quicker. Because when we build up a habit on something, it's so hard to change it. But that kind of gives you a bit of a helping start.
Definitely.
That's really interesting. So do you have any tips for anyone at home that can start to do a little bit of this practice?
Yeah, definitely. So, as I say, a lot of neural coding is using very specific scripts depending on what you need. So there is quite a discovery process around it. So again, unless I speak to someone, it's quite hard to do these processes, live on air. I can't make you all give up chocolate online. But, a great process to start having a play around with is actually around anxiety. Okay? We've all probably experienced that at some point in our life.
Definitely.
So next time you have anxiety, anxiety is always a worry about the future.
Yeah.
And what's actually happening in your unconscious mind is playing this movie of something not going right.
Yeah.
So we're not actually... we're basically playing a movie of something that's not happened, but we're playing the movie of it going badly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's actually causing a physical reaction in our body of anxiety. So again, thoughts become things. Okay.
Yeah.
Worrying about the future becomes physical anxiety in the body.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right. So maybe I'll run a little process on you live on air and people can see what it is.
Let's do it. Why not?
Okay. Perfect. So can you think of something that's coming up that you might have a little bit of anxiety around? Have you got any singing gigs coming up? Or
Yeah, I do. I've got a gig on the 20th of April actually. So let's do that, because I've always had a bit of, I've definitely got better, but funny you said when I was young, probably before 7, I remember my brothers and sisters telling me that I was really bad at singing because I used to sing all the time. But whether I'm not blaming them, but maybe it's from that. No, it's interesting you said that. But I think I've always found performing and expressing my creativity very hard. It's been a process I've been on a long time. So I always do have obviously the anxiety before performing. So I've got one April 20th. So hopefully this will help.
This will be it. Yeah. So brothers and sisters created a mind virus.
Yeah.
It's common.
Yeah. Damn you guys.
Always siblings, teachers, parents.
Yeah.
Always, yeah. Okay, all right. So if we think of this gig on the 20th of April, so again, I can imagine that if you're thinking about a gig, what do you get anxiety about? Would you maybe, if you actually think about it, would you think about yourself like tripping over on stage, or
forgetting the lyrics?
Forgetting the lyrics. Okay,
singing sort of out of key or something like that, like not getting that right, or also being so nervous that I just don't perform very well, hoping people like it. Yeah, also that if you trip up, that would be a nightmare.
I just added a new one, sorry.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh God, I didn't think about that. Maybe I should have done. Like your bandmates turning up, that kind of thing. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. All right. So what I want you to do, just for part of the process, is just close your eyes down for me. Okay. And I just want you to imagine the date of your gig.
Yeah.
And I want you to come out of your body and almost float yourself out into the future.
Okay.
And I want you to take yourself 15 minutes after the successful completion of your gig. Okay, so I want you to imagine it going the best it possibly could.
Okay.
All right. And I just want you to imagine what's going on in and around you. What can you see, hear, feel to know that this has been successful?
So shall I explain?
Yeah.
So I'm out away from the. I probably would be back in the green room still, but I'm thinking I'm at the bar now, or outside, out with the rest of the crowd. And I've got a really big smile on my face. Funny when you said that, I kind of did that automatically.
Yeah, so I can see you smiling.
Yeah,
now. It's already
so like
happening.
a really big grin and being like really chuffed with the performance. It went really, really well. And all the people that were there are sort of coming up to be like, oh my God, that was amazing. Where can we get in touch? How do we find your music? That kind of stuff. And then I'm having a drink, because I normally wouldn't have a drink before, but I'm like, yeah, I deserve this. And then me and my bandmates, we're feeling really good. And we're sort of like, yeah, that went really well. We're inspired for our next performance. And also just feeling quite like relaxed and accomplished, I guess, to be like, right, I can have a really good night now. And
wow,
that's how I'm feeling.
And how does it feel in the body? Where can you feel this in the body?
My shoulders just sort of felt like they relaxed down a bit. And in my chest, because I get quite like when I'm sort of stressed or anxious, it's kind of a combination. It's like within my chest and my shoulders. So I actually, that's so weird, because even when you said that, I felt the grin on my face.
Yeah, you were like,
and then also just
smiling.
then I like my sort of like just my chest sort of stopped a little bit, because even talking about it, like you said, and what could go wrong, you feel that already. Like you said, the physical thing, but then actually when we spoke about that and envisioned it, I felt different, and I felt positive about that. So I'm going to do that more.
Yeah. So just keep it up, and you can use this whenever you've got something coming up that you've got anxiety about, public speaking, a job interview, a difficult conversation you've got to have with somebody, like speaking up at work, like you just imagine it going perfectly, because again, our unconscious mind actually doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And as soon as you start tuning into that, it's incredible. Like, I've used a lot of this technique before coming on this radio show. I plan it going perfectly. And
it went great, because you're a perfect speaker. Can everyone? I think Amanda needs to have her own radio show, right? Her voice is perfect for radio. I love it.
Wellness voice, and you can. It's amazing actually that how many clients I've run this process on. It's almost like creating a bit of a future memory, and it's amazing how many clients, I get them to really go into description, what can you see, they imagine this scene perfectly. I'll give Gia, actually our friend, when her first DJ gig one time, and she'd imagined like these purple curtains and a cup of coffee. She said, oh, this is quite strange, and she sent me a message to say, oh my God, the first place I've played at has got purple curtains. So it's almost like we start creating this
tune
reality.
Into our kind of like, I don't even know what you'd call that, but you are maybe looking into the future slightly.
Yeah. You're just starting to create this. And again, it doesn't mean that like nothing bad is going to happen, but it just means it completely changes your mindset around
and welcoming the experience and going in with a positive attitude, because I'm sure we all do it, probably like you said, in not aware sometimes, but we are playing out this kind of like we're playing out it going negatively without actually being that aware of it all the time. I know I do that because I like maybe worry about stuff, and then you're actually playing out these things going wrong. But actually, if we sort of stop for a minute, tune in, and then be like, imagine those going right. Yeah, amazing. I love it. And this show I always upload, so it's on catch up. So anyone that wants to be like, oh, I want to use this again, you can just go back to this session and listen again, and do this if you've got any events or anything going up. So love that. Very, very, very insightful. Okay, so we're going to have one song this time because we want to make sure we have enough time to chat, because there's just so much good stuff going on, isn't there? I hope you're enjoying it. Let us know. Tell me what you think. Get in touch. I'm going to play this next song, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about sound, and we're going to introduce the gong bath. How exciting. So this next song is called Dream Machine. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.
That was Dream Machine by Mark Verena and Sean Hayes. We're back in the studio with the lovely Amanda for even more amazing information. Isn't this great? You're getting so much goodies today. I bet you're loving it, the listeners. I hope you are. Get in touch, let us know what you think. I've had some few messages saying how informative today's show is, and they can't wait for the gong bath, and what a great show. So I hope you agree. So now we're going to talk about sound. We're going to finish off with sound. So what drew you to sound healing?
Oh, so I have always used sound from the start of my career. So even at LMS, as I say, they had quite an sort of Eastern influence with their treatments. So even just to signal the end of the treatment, we just used to use these tincture bells to finish the end. And I've also experienced a lot of therapists using sound along the way. I'll never forget my first session with the Himalayan singing bowls. It was in this place actually in Abu Dhabi, one of the Thai therapists, and it was the most incredible experience. And I had my first gong bath in Bali, and I remember actually feeling like anxiety being sort of sucked out of my body. Wow. It was a really sort of out of body experience. It's quite magical.
Amazing. Sound is best. Sound is healing. So how can sound and gongs sort of heal us, and how does that all work?
Okay, so two things that are really magical, I think, with sound healing is first what it does for our brain waves. Okay. So anybody that's ever tried to meditate and can't do it for longer than 2 seconds is generally because we're living in a place of stress. Okay. So it's really difficult for us to be able to drop into rest and restore. Okay. And what's happening is our brain waves are sort of quite erratic, right? Yeah. So imagine if we were going through a bit of stress, or we had a busy day at work and we were plugged up to I don't know what they're called, but like a brain monitor. Yeah. And you can imagine seeing the waves that they'd be quite sort of up and down and jagged, erratic, and quite erratic. So it's very difficult for us, at that time our body is pumping a lot of stress hormones, and it's really difficult for us to be able to switch then into rest and restore. Even when we sleep, we're not doing it. Okay. Really? So what the sound does is, using the frequencies and vibrations, it instantly puts your brain into alpha, theta, delta brain waves, which is our sort of very relaxed, deep relaxation, sort of going inward energy, and then also our sleep. Okay, so it's basically a shortcut to meditation.
Perfect. Yeah, because it is hard, and especially if people don't meditate a lot. I hear that a lot. It's I just can't do it. I can't shut off. Yeah. But there you can have it maybe introduced with sound healing first, and then you could meditate after or whilst. Yeah,
definitely. Amazing. And I think people get anchored to the sound. You know, a lot of people have said to me once they've experienced the sound bath that their meditation becomes a lot easier. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And secondly, what it does, it helps to sort of shift and clear your vibration and give a little bit of reset to your sort of energetic energy. Yeah. Again, this is sometimes quite difficult for people to understand, but vibrations are almost like a kind of rhythm, and we have a lot of those that happen in the body. So things like your heartbeat, your breathing, they're just a rhythm. And there is almost like smaller vibrations happening inside the body too, inside of like each of your cells. It's vibrating at a certain frequency. And what the sound does, it really helps to like shake this up and release things out of the cells.
Wow. Okay, amazing.
So again, I've had clients sort of get rid of physical pain, like anxiety, like emotional blockages, like these are all on like an energetic level.
Right.
Again, like a lot of tears sometimes. And again, I always say to people with the sound, sometimes you can feel like if you've got a lot of underlying anxiety, sometimes you'll feel the anxiety pop
Come
up
to the surface,
So it's almost like bringing it to the surface to release
movement
it. So
and moving it out of the body through the different channels.
Yeah, so always have to just be mindful that clients know that sometimes it can feel a little bit uneasy first before it feels good. But it's just a clearing. It's just clearing what we need. You feel a lot lighter after it.
Amazing. So you'll get to experience this in literally a few minutes. So what would you suggest? So Amanda actually puts on quite a few of these events, and obviously she's in East London, which is very close if you're in the Brentwood area or Essex, and also you might be listening from East London. So can you tell us, just before we go into the gong buff, we don't have that long left, could you tell us where we can find out about your sessions? You do a cosmic vibration session, right? And tune.
Yeah, so I run the Cosmic Vibrations, which is bi-weekly on a Wednesday, which is in Hackney Wick. And again, it's 90 minutes to take you through all the different sound. Again, if you check out my website or Instagram, you can find details of that there. And then we've also got a new event coming, which is called Tune Out, Tune In. And the first one is on April the 11th. So this is combining like yoga with breath work and sound, which is going to be pretty good. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so Amanda's going to get ready now to get set up for the gong bath. We've got about 4 minutes left. We should have about a 4 to 3 minute gong bath to finish off with. So what would you recommend? Maybe grab a cushion, a blanket, or just get in a comfortable position?
Yeah, just get in a comfortable position. Obviously, close your eyes as long as you're not driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, close your eyes. Just get relaxed. If you've got headphones would be great, but obviously... you've got a minute to grab them.
Yeah, you've got not even a minute. We are a minute. Okay, amazing. So get ready. We're going to set up here and finish off with a beautiful gong bath. Very, very exciting. Amanda, what a great chat we've had today. So we're going to get ready. Okay. This has been Sunrise Sessions with Helena Roma Palmer and the amazing Amanda Chappell from Sound Touch Change. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's been amazing.
Thank you, Amanda. Bye-bye.
Bye.